Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Talk here on TV 35. I am your host, Pat Brock, and yes, it is Mother's Day time, and we're here to honor the mothers, all mothers, who work tirelessly to make sure that their kids are well taken care of, and mothers whose kids have grown up and now they're able to see their grandchildren flourish. And who do I have in the studio with me today? My baby girl, Hannah Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. Nice to see you, Hannah.
Nice to see you. It's been so long.
I know, it's been forever. And you know, when we talk about the relationship of a mother and daughter, that's pretty special. And you know, to have my baby girl here, I mean, we were here on this couch last year, Hannah.
That was fun.
You've grown up, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am.
You're now 18.
Grown.
Yeah, grown. And you know, so it's like our kids tend to get older, and of course us mothers, we tend to think about when they were younger. And of course me, Hannah knows, my sons Joshua and Jonathan know how nostalgic I get. And as you're seeing here, look at this, guys. Now, when we talk about baby dedications, I save so many different things because I think that I like to reminisce over and remember how things used to be. Do you see that in me, Hannah? And what I've got here, I'm going to show you. Now, I've got a 22-year-old named Joshua. This is Joshua's outfit when he was christened, or our baby dedication. And then we've got Jonathan. Now, Joshua's graduating from Chattahoochee Tech in Atlanta in August with a degree in automotive. And this was Jonathan's. This is my middle child. First tuxedo right here, he was dedicated. He's 19, he'll be 20 this year. He is at Kennesaw State University, finishing up his freshman year. And last but not least, Hannah. I will never forget, Hannah, when I took you home for the first time. Do you remember those days?
Of course.
Of course. And so, you know, when we, as parents, we think about these nostalgic things that our kids know or remember, have no recollection of. And so, Hannah, you share with us, as a teenager now, grown, what it means to you to have a mother in your life.
I know growing up, you've always been there. You've always gone the extra mile to make sure we are taken care of. Coming to our schools, coming to all of my sporting events. And so having that solid foundation, knowing that I always had a mom that I could count on, I think it's helped me a lot growing up and brought me to where I am.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you know, for me, you know, Hannah, of course, my mother died when I was 2 years old, and I think I get teary-eyed when I share that with you. You ever notice that with me? And so there's some of us who don't have mothers or don't. And with me, my mother passed away when I was 2 years old, and my sister Angela was 11 months. So that's 14 children that she left behind, and we were kind of doorsteps in the age category. And so I think I find myself thinking about that a lot. And so I really try to pour into you as your mom so that you'll always remember that you've had a good mom and someone that really cares about you. So how does it feel for you? Now, you've got some friends who maybe don't have parents or don't have the support system. How does it feel for you when you see that, and how do you try to help make things better for them?
I try definitely to try and make you a bit of their mom, because I know you always will take my friends in, treat them like your own kids, and I know that it really means a lot to them to be around you.
And I think about that. I think about that a lot because I've got a lot of what you would call a surrogate mom. So growing up, I think my teachers were kind of like having to take that role on to be kind of like motherly to me, and they knew that I didn't have my birth mother. They would always try to do extra things. And then like the room moms. I remember I would room mom with you. Oh, Lord. I was a superhero, wasn't I?
Library parent.
Tell everybody how you would, oh gosh, tell them about that, Hannah.
Well, my mom would come in this cape and this costume, and she would take me and my little class to the library a couple of times a week. And they loved it. They would be all over her, and I would just be sitting back pouting, like mad, jealous. And every time she would leave, I would still have school. Like, the day wouldn't be over yet, but I would just cry and cry until she came back. to pick me up and take me home.
Yeah, and and I think that, and I would see that a lot in some of the kids that would kind of gravitate towards me, and I would see you get jealous. Jonathan would get jealous. Josh, whatever. That's how Josh was. But I think that it's important for us to try to be moms to others, especially if they look up to us in that way. And when we deal about sports, so we're going to fast forward a little bit when we talk about sports. Sports moms, we have to do so much. And me, of course, for the past 14 years, I've been a soccer mom. So Hannah, share with us about how that's been for you growing up, playing sports and having that support system. And I don't want to leave dads out, because Hannah has a dad who's very supportive of her. She's got a stepdad who's very supportive of her. But I know we're talking specifically about moms and that relationship with their kids. So how has it been for you with all the sports and things that you've had to do throughout the years?
When you play a sport that's really competitive and you're on all these different travel teams, it becomes, one, very time consuming, and two, very expensive. And so it's definitely been a sacrifice for my mom to come every weekend, have to travel, just so I could play soccer. So.
Oh my gosh. What has been one of your most memorable moments growing up playing soccer?
Probably last year in the state championship. It was great. It was so much fun.
That was so much fun. And I think that we as the parents, the moms, we get just excited as the kids. Yes, I'm that type that will, get the shirts made, get the matching sneakers and everything to show my support. And, I've got here, as you see these dangling, this is Hannah's first pair of tennis shoes ever. You don't even remember those. But I keep things like that to remind Hannah and the kids, but also myself, of the fact that you're growing up, you're changing, you're evolving, you're becoming a beautiful young woman. And so in a way, we parents have to kind of let you be able to fly a little bit. And so, Hannah, what do you want to share with the people out there from your perspective about what a good mom should be?
A good mom should be somebody you can talk to, somebody who will always have your back. You don't have to question them.
Yeah.
Someone you can trust, and someone who loves you unconditionally.
I often say, you've got a ride or die with you. No matter what, I'd lay down my life for my kids. And I say that, and I say that earnestly. And that's a lot to be said. Because with my boys, they're a little bit different, and girls, they all have their own personality. And so being able to have a parent, I think that, Hannah, I know that I'm not the coolest parent in the world. I tend to think I am, but I know from you all's perspective, we're not the coolest. But I think that we try to adapt in ways, too, to kind of fit in with you, without losing ourselves. What you got to say about that?
Definitely, kids my age love to be around you. Even though you're an adult, you can still joke around. And so that's a good quality.
Yeah. Hannah and I recently went on a mother-daughter trip during spring break. We went to Panama City Beach. We had our little T-shirts made. For me, that was so special, Hannah, because time is so precious, and I know that you're getting ready to go off to college and play soccer at Middle Georgia, and so I know that we're not going to have these times. They're going to be more infrequent, and so it was really special to me to be able to share that time with you.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. And so what's next? We're getting ready to go off to college to play soccer. How do you feel about that?
I'm sad that my high school road is over, but I'm also very excited to take this next step.
Yeah. I'm still going to be a soccer mom. Yay! All right. Well, it's been great talking to you, Hannah. And of course, I've got one more thing to show you all. This was Hannah's first church dress. First church dress.
Maybe it still fits.
We'll see if it still fits, But, just things like this, the first time they're doing things, that's so important. And that's why it's so special to me. I do reminisce a lot, but it's because I remember I try to remember everything, and I cherish all the time that we've spent together, all the time I've had to spend with my kids. And I love you so much.
I love you too.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be back with the Bozemans.
Hello, I'm Taylor Knight from the Community Bank of Dublin, Lawrence County, and we offer great customer service. Come in today and let us open a checking, savings, or CD account for you. So come see us at the Community Bank of Dublin, Lawrence County, where we have been serving the community for more than 12 years.
What if there was a paint that had the power to awaken something old, or painfully dated, or something you simply thought was lost forever, because it could form a strong bond regardless of age? If a paint could give any time-worn surface stunning new life, you have to wonder, is it still paint? Regal Select Exterior from Benjamin Moore, only available at independently owned paint and hardware stores.
Available at Four Seasons Paint and Floor Covering.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a special Mother's Day show that we're having. We've got the lovely ladies here. We've got Sue and Sydney Bozeman with us. How are you, ladies?
Great.
Good to see you both.
Good to see you.
And you know, Sue, we want you to kind of share with us as a mom. Tell us about you and your family, if you would.
Well, I'm here with my daughter, Sydney. My son, Blake, is not here. He's in North Carolina working. And we're just looking forward to spending Mother's Day. Blake will be home this weekend, so I'll get to spend Mother's Day with both of them.
Going to have all the babies home with us. And of course, if you don't know by now, Sydney, of course, is a Trinity Christian graduate. And of course, now she's a basketball player in college and doing great things. Sydney, share with the people out there about you. I mean, I think when you and I first met, I interviewed you. First, I could not believe how tall you were, and I think you were a sophomore at that time.
I think that's about right, yeah.
And we were on the softball field, and I tell you, I was in Oompa Loompa mode because I think I started talking like this with you. So share with the people out there about you and your life, and you know, talking about sports moms and athletes and how that adventure has been for you.
Well, it's a lot of time and effort just for everybody in the family. I've spent multiple hours on the road trying to get better and trying to be seen by different coaches. So it's been long, but it's definitely like very worth it in the end. So I'm very thankful for my mom for helping me out and for supporting me through everything, and especially my whole family because they were with me too. So.
Now I remember when I first met you guys. I mean, you were on traveling teams, right? And so like every summer you had something going on. And I would check your Facebook page, and I'm like, Lord have mercy. And I remember we were there for your signing when you first went to Furman on scholarship. Now, Mom, how has this adventure been for you? Because, you know, as Hannah and I were talking about, there's a lot of things that we have to do behind the scenes as moms to make sure that, that they get from point A to point B, but there's a lot of things behind that as well. Talk to us about that.
Well, it's been an exciting time.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate the fact that I teach, so my summers have been free, and it's just been a family effort.
Yeah.
Sydney's dad works from home, so he also had a flexible schedule.
Good.
So it was a family thing. We could all go, and she traveled with the Celtics during the summer so that she could be seen by college coaches.
Right.
And so every summer we would go from state to state. And it almost became like a family vacation, you know, on the road.
You had no other choice but to make it that, Sydney. You sucked everybody's time out.
I really did.
And it's funny now that her brother is grown because we hauled him from gym to gym. It's almost like we have to like drag him into a gym now.
Yeah, it's true. Like I said this on air, and I didn't mean to embarrass my boys, but the fact that like every weekend we were out of state, out of town with Hannah for her travel teams, and even as a little one on travel teams. And so we know that it all paid off in the long run, but it is a lot to sacrifice for your family. And so for you, Sydney, you're the oldest.
I am.
What lessons have you learned from your mom by watching her do the things that she does?
I've learned that you have to be very patient, especially with me and my brother. Like just I mean, we're just like kids, so you got to be very patient and understanding with every situation, and very loving. So I think those are great qualities to have.
Are you patient, Sue?
I try to be.
And you know, for your relationship as mother-daughter, you two look so much alike, you know. What is it that you two do to try to connect and keep that bond going? Now that you are an empty nester and so they are gone off, you know, to work and college, what do you do to still stay connected?
We've always been close,
Yeah.
and we text, and we go to the movies, and we've just always been really close friends, and that's always been a good thing.
Yeah.
So I've always been, I think when she first went off to college, I had a really hard time with that because I had to let go some.
I remember that,
And
Sue.
it was hard because I took it personally, you know. And she had to find her own way some.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying having her home for the summer. So, and we've already been to Charleston together, and I'll be 50 this summer, so we're gonna
Oh, you
go
got to
away
celebrate
for the
big,
weekend.
honey. You got to celebrate
So-
big for that.
But I'm loving my time with her.
That's good. And you know, with you, Sydney, you actually acknowledge, yes, it has been a lot. It's been a lot on my family. It has been a lot of work, not just for you to compete, you know, to become a better athlete, but the sacrifices that your family has had to make. And so if you had to give a young person out there some advice to really not take for granted in having a family that is a great support system, what would you say to them? Because, I mean, they started with you when you were how old with sports?
Young.
Do you remember, Sue, how old she was when she started?
I think, well, AAU was 7th grade, so I mean around the middle school age.
And we started traveling with her probably to Atlanta when she was around 13.
Yeah.
And you know, I can even remember us taking her to practice during the school week. And I can remember somebody saying, I can't believe you drive all the way to Atlanta with her back and forth. And I said, you know what? That's time we have together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
Making the
worth-
best of all of that.
It was worth every mile.
Yeah. So, Sydney, give some young people some advice. Give me some advice, Sydney, because my baby's getting ready to go off to college and play soccer. And I know that, like you said, Sue, that you have to be able to kind of let go a little bit. And I know it's a little hard, especially when you are close. And of course, moms and their daughters. So talk to some of the young people out there who are athletes and are, you know, quite busy with all that they do, to kind of give them some words to actually remember the sacrifices that are being made.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of like what you were saying, like don't take time for granted, because I mean, just like that, like you're going to be in college.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be away. And so like if I went back, like I used to always think like, oh, I'm so ready for high school, like when I was in middle school. And then when I was in high school, I was ready for college. So I've always been ready for the next step instead of just like being in the moment and just kind of like being there with your family and loving every minute of it. And just don't take it for granted.
What are you ready for now?
I'm in the moment now. So,
So you're enjoying the moment.
I am.
And Sue, you talk about, you know, to those mothers, to us mothers who are the ones that are transporting their kids throughout the week with the AAU, the travel teams, that are taking them to different camps to learn different skills, and how sometimes it can be so hard. Give them some encouraging words to help those parents, to help those moms, to be able to keep pushing along and realizing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
I think they just have to realize that's time you have with your child.
Yeah.
And at times you're exhausted. Mm-hmm. You know, at times you don't have the patience.
Right.
You know, and you just think, how am I going to get through this?
Yeah.
But you do, and you see it pay off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then as far as, you know, letting go.
Yeah.
I have a friend that her daughter's fixing to go off to college, and she was talking about letting go.
Oh, wow.
And I just told her, I said, you know, you have raised an amazing young woman, and I said, don't look at it as letting go,
Right.
but look at it as admiring her accomplishments from afar.
Oh, nice.
So
That's really good.
but It's an incredible journey.
Wow. And it's been a journey that you've been on. You've enjoyed every bit of it.
Absolutely.
The ups and downs, the heartache, the pains, the joys that you've received from it. And now being able to, as you know, a college basketball player, you getting to still be able to enjoy those moments to seeing your daughter on that court. It's nice.
It's really, it's an unbelievable journey.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing to go through with her.
Mm-hmm. And you know, we just did, with mine being in high school or senior year, this is so me right here. You know, they played their Final Four game, and you know, I'm one of those extra moms to really do things to make sure that my children know that they're special. It's not to show anyone up, but it's about who I am and what my kids mean to me. And so I spent, look at that.
I love it.
I mean, I made these fans. This is Hannah this is her first trophy ever. She was 5 years old. She started playing when she was 4, and she was so excited. And it's always a reminder to let her know that her family are her biggest fans, and that we're always gonna be as our family. And so thank you so much for just kind of sharing with us and talking about what it means to you to be a mom, and how you take that role very seriously. And Sydney, just to see the fact that you appreciate that and you acknowledge, hey, I know that she does a lot. I know that she sacrifices a lot. And the fact that you all are still making sure that you find that time to stay connected, that's so special and so important. Any last words you want to share with the people of Dublin, Lawrence County? Sydney?
Happy Mother's Day. I'm just very thankful for you. I'm glad I could be here and just to share this time, but thank you.
All right.
Thank
Sue?
you for having us. And we just enjoying our time together, and
Yeah.
and I hope you have a happy Mother's Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a shining example.
Thank
I met you when I first got here, you know, and I met you, of course, telling me about your daughter and getting the opportunity to meet her. So thank you both so much. It's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to be with you today to kind of talk with mothers, and of course to share with you a little bit about me in being a mother. And it's been very special. We thank you to all of the dads out there, the stepdads, the aunts, the uncles, the nieces, the nephews, the cousins, the friends, the teachers, everyone in their respective places who have contributed to a child's life, who've been those surrogate mothers, you know, who've been the mothers to the motherless. Thank you so much. And we love you all. We hope and pray that this Mother's Day is the best Mother's Day yet, because for all that you do, you deserve that and more. Thank you again to the Bozemans, and thank you to my daughter, Hannah Theriault, for being with us today. That's all the time we have for Real Talk here on TV 35. And please keep watching.